Okay, I've knocked. Sorry, hang on. What's going on? Oh, for the Lord's sake. Unfortunately, I've had to knock it down to 720p, just because I'm trying to get it more stable, and it's just not working. So, yeah, that's happening. Where is the logo gone? Okay. So we're about to do the blue of the trousers. So let's crack straight on with that. And we've watered down, if you like, or thinned down, I should say, the blue with the contrast medium, because we don't want it to be that really strong dark. Oh, that's the weapon. That's fine. We'll be going. Don't worry. And all of this, the areas that I'm not hitting, will be done with lead belcher anyway. And then we'll move around the leg. And that's a nice blue. I like that. Pleased with that. Moving on to just inside of here. And then, sorry about the noise. And then we're going to move on to the whole legs. You are getting still a bit more of that repelling, which is a bit unfortunate. And inside of here. Oops. But yeah, I really like that blue. And back onto this leg here. It's repelling. You see that? Not going to lie, that is really annoying. That's really quite bad there. Weird. Don't know. Not sure what that is. I make a big assumption that it's the mould. It's to do with the mould, and maybe to get the miniature out of the mould, it needs some kind of lubricant, and then that stays on it when you get it. When you get the miniature. That's all I can think of, really. Okay. So that's the trousers done. Of the Oni, sorry. Just realised that's... actually, I'm going to move that now, because it affects the focus. So apologies about the dip in resolution. Hopefully it's fine enough to see the detail of the miniatures. It looks great on my screen, but I don't know if that's just because it's showing it in full 1080p. But yeah. Looks good. Let's head back to the Nuriana. And now that she's dried, we can see she's really coming along. So she has got a turquoise kind of snake part to her, and I've got the perfect colour for that. It's called a Killian green, but it's actually a bit more like a turquoise blue, to be completely honest, than a green. So that's fine. I mean, I'm happy with it being a kind of more of a blue than a green, but see how it goes on. But it's such a beautiful colour, really vibrant, and pretty much exactly what we want for this snake skin look. Let me get around here. that hair? Yeah, she's got hair coming. Oh, right, okay. It's interesting. Just fill in. I can always just fill it in with black. That's not a problem. Yeah, I don't know. Let's try and break that down a bit more. No, that's fine. Okay, then we're doing the rest of the snake portion of this demon. This demon that reminds me so much of the Ring. It's quite scary. And what I absolutely love about contrast paints is the vibrancy of the colours. Now, you may not want that. Now you can certainly dial down the tone of contrast paints by using a different primer. So Wraithbone gives a quite a warm but quite a vivid colour to the paints. But you can put grey Sear if you're doing Citadel, or to be honest, I would say if you're going for dull colours, you can use any grey primer. Will work fine. You can even zenithal it to give it some different shades, and that will come through from the contrast because they are quite thin by nature. They allow detail to come through. Look at that. I love this colour. I used it on my Joan of Arc figures at first, and I just loved it on the knights. I thought it gave such a nice, bright colour. So I think I was answering some questions before the live stream cut out. My plan is to do a lot more painting videos for Black Rose Wars. I just love these miniatures. Super Fancy Brawl miniatures, they're not going to be beaten, I don't think, in terms of for painting. I absolutely loved painting Super Fancy Brawl. It was so much fun. But the detail on these miniatures, especially the Sator ones, are just so fun. They're brilliant. The detail is amazing on them. For pre-assembled miniatures, wowzers. They're fantastic. Now, I do know I'm be getting some Marvel Crisis Protocol figures, miniatures, only a couple, for Christmas, so they'll be on the painting block as well. I want to get those painted up because that's another game that I'm not massively heavily invested in, but got a fair few and really enjoy modelling and building them, hobbying as it were. But I do. The problem is I love the live streams because I do like to communicate with the chat, and be involved in the chat while I'm painting. I find it so much better. I had to do that. It's something I started with Super Fancy Brawl, and I just loved it. I loved it every time that we came on live, and there was probably only about 3 people on the chat, but that was fine. It was like our own little community, which is the main reason why I started the channel, to be honest, was to try and get a little bit of a community. I'd certainly go through some of these fantastic community-made solo modes for so many games, and that's what I wanted. I wanted everyone who had the game to have the same experience I had. So I thought, well, let's just get my iPhone, plug it in, and record, and that's what I did. And it's as simple as that. Now, obviously, my computer, that's the stopping point. That's the problem. So when I come and do these live streams, the computer really struggles. I mean, the CPU's got no chance really. It's a 12-year-old iMac. I do all this on, and it's just a bit too old. Bless it. So I don't know what the solution to that is. So let's just try knocking down the resolution to 720 and see if that keeps it stable, and just check it's good enough quality so people can see what results are given with it. Okay, that colour looks so good against the orange. Yeah, she's coming along. As I say, immediate effects, immediate results. And she doesn't seem to have any repelling going on, which is brilliant. But it is a shame that we got some on the others. Okay, right, let's go for the red trim on her. Well, while we've got her on the holder, let's go for the red trim. So yeah, it'd be interesting to know what you guys are thinking. So if, in the comments of the video, if you can let me know. Oh, I want the smaller brush. If you can let me know if the 720p is not good enough, and then I'll just have to have a little think. I can record in 1080, but I won't be able to live stream in 1080. And I really want to live stream. That's what I really want to do. But yeah, we'll see. So I'm using it's probably about a 000 brush here, just to get the detail on. Try not to go over that white inner part of the belt here. Okay. Back over here. Okay, so that's the let's go over arm. I did, didn't I? So I'm just trying to get that red off that arm. Okay. Don't know, I think I'm going to have to do the arm a bit again. I've just gone over. But that is her belt. Now with the red detail. The little tassel here, I'd say, is a kind of pink. Slightly pink colour if we look at the art. So I think what I might do is a bit of go for a really light brown, like Skeleton Horde. So go in with Skeleton Horde, and again just thin it down with a bit of contrast medium. Oops. So get the Skeleton Horde. Contrast medium. Tell you what, the 720p is certainly a lot more stable. I think it seems. Oh, we want it a bit pink, don't we? A bit pink. I might put. No, I'm just going to do it that way. I'm not really fussed about having a kind of pink colour. I just want it to be slightly different to the white. On the tassels, And so I got the red on it. Okay. We're going to have to go over that white middle part anyway. If you have a little look inside there, that's not very good. The orange is certainly seeped in there. Okay, I think the hair needs to be done to really bring this model on. So it's I'd say it probably looks a bit browny. Purple. It's like a very black purple colour. Awesome. So we've got the Shyish purple, which is a really nice dark purple to start with. I'm going to chuck in some black Templar to go with that. And no contrast medium. Just the mixture of these two. And I might as well just use the blue that I was using earlier, because they're quite similar in colour. So let's go in with a wodge of Shyish purple. Now in with the black Templar. So, I think that'll have the desired effect. Let's have a little look. Yes, it will. And then let's put this on. Again, the detail in the hair is just fantastic. Everything just lends itself to just be so good. I've just gone over the red roses of the hair, that's fine. I mean, to be honest, I'm not going to be too careful here because this is all going to be covered in metal. So while I've got this colour mixed, I'd rather make sure that that's covering the entire hair part of the miniature. And this will contrast against the skin colour and make that skin really shine out, which is what we want. That's like hair as well. So I'm pleased with that. That's a nice dark, rich purple. There we go. Right, around the tail, I think that's the same purple. Oh no, it's kind of like a red, isn't it? Ah, right, I've just seen the red. So I'm gonna go in nice bright with Blood Angels red. I'm gonna go straight in with Blood Angels red and give that tail a really bright colour. So Blood Angels red. Hey Jeff, thanks for joining the third attempt at a live stream. Thank you, man. Yeah. just with super fancy brawls, just give people ideas, and you know, you don't have to be a pro painter to use contrast paints. I think that's the beauty of it. You've got to have a bit of a steady hand, ideally, and then you just let the paints do all the work. And trust me, when you see them all out on the board, how bright and vivid they are, it looks so cool. Yeah, that's a nice red. Love it. So have you got the Sator books, Jeff? Has it arrived yet? Oh, I love the elementals. You know, the Earth Elemental. I really, really love the Earth Elemental, but I did spend a lot longer on that compared to the others. But yeah, they were really fun to paint. Yeah, they were really fun to paint. And that's the other beauty of doing live stream, is that it records it. YouTube records it, so I get to chat with the community, which is always fun, and interact with them. And the video's saved for anyone who wants to watch it at another time. So it's kind of like a win-win. But as long as the quality... Oh, in fact, while you're there, Jeff... no, I don't have any Wave 1. I literally started the channel back in, I think it was June, with Western Legends. I kind of developed a solo rule set from a mashup of a couple of community-made ones. And I really enjoyed it. I was quite proud, to be honest, of how it turned out. So I was like, I really need to show this to other people. So I was like, oh, I'll get that up on the live stream. So I obviously got Wave 1 of Black Rose Wars before that. So yeah, they were painted way before that. However, saying that, I still have some of Wave 1 to still paint. So I'll be showing some of that, but I just love some of these miniatures, like these demons. Oh, I just love them. I mean, I'm into like Japanese mythology and stuff anyway. So the demonology's really quite cool. It's right up my street. And I would certainly argue that the Sator box miniatures are better quality compared to the core box. I mean, especially when you look at the mages. That's my personal opinion. They've knocked out the park, if you ask me. That needs to be the turquoise. There we go, and then you can see that she's really coming out now. And I don't know how long, roughly. I suppose what we've been doing, we're about an hour, just over an hour now, in terms of actual painting time. Again, I've got to do all the metal work. That tends to be the most time-consuming part. I would say she's... Obviously, the bases aren't done. Yeah, that's the thing, is the contrast paints do look sharp. They look great. They come out so well. Really nice and bright and vivid. And you imagine that on the board. It just looks great. It just really does pop. Sometimes the only problem is the evocations will look better than the mages, and then you're like, oh, okay. But never mind. Right, okay, let's put her to the side and bring back Mr. Oni. I think we've got a bit more to do with him before the metalwork. So what I tend to do when I do a painting, and you'll see it with the live streams, is I'll paint everything apart from the metalwork, and then I'll go into the metalwork for everything else. So we need some Gilliman flesh on these heads he's got around his around his belt, which is pretty gross. But you know, he's an Oni. He should be feared. And, I mean, the detail of these faces, just awesome. Crazy. And yeah, if you wanted this to be the best miniature you ever painted, you would paint all these faces with different tones. You wouldn't just paint them all the same. But I'm not fussed about that. I just want it to look decent enough. Okay, so that's all the heads. I mean, look at the detail on those heads. That's just nuts. That's amazing. Cool. Right, the shin pads I can't see because the text is over the top of them. Looks like wood, if I'm being honest. And what about there as well? What are we looking at? I'll see, kind of a metal inlay. I'm going to do that metallic, so that's fine. Right, let's get some wood colouring down on the shins there. I'm going to go in with my smaller brush. So my 000. I'm going to go in with Wildwood. Fantastic contrast paint. I love Wildwood. Gives a really nice wood colour. A nice deep brown. There's a fair amount of kind of metal work, it seems. And rope work. So Jeff, do you paint contrasts? If you're still there on the chat. Try and get in there, right? Cool. And with these live stream, it's basically what I use painting live streams for myself is I have it on the background while I paint myself. Well, it doesn't tend to be live streams actually. There's not tons and tons of live streams out there, just because of the nature of how long it takes to paint a miniature. As I say, with traditional paints, it can take quite a long time. So you tend to have videos that skip stages. And what I'm really keen on doing is having it live in real time, so you can see how long it actually takes to paint these things. Because that is one of the biggest beauties of contrast paints, right? Is time. And it's something that a lot of people don't have, including myself. So, you know, when I've got so much painting to do with all the board games that I have, that's quite a big thing for me. Okay, so this is kind of a shin armour. The wood part of the shin armour done. You should definitely do it. I always said, like, it's been. I'll tell you what, doing the super fancy brawl has been brilliant, because I'm sure he won't mind. There's a guy called Kyle, I think, not Kyle, Clint. He's called Clint, and he hadn't painted before, and he had super fancy brawl, and any paint job is better looking on the table than grey plastic, and his miniatures are fantastic, and he's just kind of followed what I've shown, what I've done on the videos. He's done his own little take on them, and he loves it. So Jeff, I would 100% try it. Especially if have you got contrast paints? I mean, it does depend. It is an investment. There is no two ways about that. If you don't have contrast paints, you know, you're looking at, I don't know, what is it, like £4 a pot, £4 a pot for each contrast. So you can see that will quickly go up as you buy more and more. The Wraithbone spray is something like £11 on its own. So it ain't cheap. It's not cheap doing contrasts, but... Oh, you've got the contrast paints as well? Oh, well, then that's a no-brainer. Jeff, give it a go. 100%. Give them a go. You will not be disappointed. Maybe start with, you know, it's a classic, isn't it? They always say, like, start with a miniature you don't like. But I don't know if I agree with that, because I feel that you won't put as much time and effort in. I would start with the elementals, actually. The elementals are really, really easy. So go back to that elementals video, see what I did, and just do that. I would 100% go to the elementals. You like doing Basilicon and Grey for the stone golem. Literally all over him. Then I did like some grass textures using some traditional paint, so you don't have to do it that way. It's a little bit daunting, Wave 2, because of the sheer amount of content. But there's some fantastic stuff in there. And then obviously with the solo mode, you can just crack on and play that, especially if you haven't got, like myself, people at home to play with. Because I normally have a board game group that I do all my gaming with, and we're not meeting off for obvious reasons at this time. So I'm just looking at the detail here. Okay, I think it's metalwork from now on. Oh no, the handle. Handle, it looks brown. Yeah, let's go wild wood again. Undo the handle. The tassel as well, I'm probably going to do red. I think let's get Oni proper glowing red, as it were. That's weird. Don't know if it is leather. I think it's kind of like a metal, but yeah, we'll go with it anyway. Also, his elementals didn't take long at all. So he's talking about a kind of a shorter paint. Oh, that's the one. Oh, I'm just going to go over this because I'm going to be going with metal anyway. Okay, so that's nearly the handle done. Let's make sure. So that's the handle done. Again, struggling to stick to some bits of this. The metal, yeah, it's all metal. We've done that. I've got the hairs and stuff of the characters. It's pretty much all black hair. Okay, let's just do them all black. Cheers, Jeff. Yeah. To be honest, every single one I've painted on video, I've really liked how they've started to come out. And this is what I'm talking about. You're seeing it develop in real time, and it isn't an immediate effect. It's so good for that. I do. Yeah, I think contrast paints get a bit of a bad rep, but I love them. I think they're fantastic. Oops. This coming from someone who's painted with traditional paints for a fair amount of time. Ooh. That might have just slipped onto his eye. Never mind. I just can't believe the detail in those heads. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, as soon as I got the wave 2 of this, well, I think it was actually before I received this. I can't remember now, but Nova Aetus Renaissance was being kickstarted, and I had a little look at some playthrough videos of it. It looked really interesting, really fun, but with knowing the quality of the miniatures is going to be this good, it was kind of like a no-brainer to back that as well. And I can't wait for that, because I can definitely play that solo as well as in a group. So that's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that to come through. There we go. So there's the 3 heads. Have I just gone over that guy's face? I have. Oh. Let's see if we can clear that up. Yeah, I might be able to actually. Bigger brush, and basically by dragging the paint off it, you'll get the paint of the guy with the beard. Wiggle. Nice. Probably won't be here in 30 minutes. Might be. What's time now? No, I think I'm going to be streaming till 11 o'clock UK time, so about 10 or 11 minutes more. But as I say, everything will be on record, so you can catch up at any time. And then what I'll probably do is get to a point where I'm about to do the metalwork and then stop. And then we'll do the metalwork in the next video, next time I get painting. But thanks for coming on, Jeff. Been great to chat to you. Where I do bases, you know what? I don't think there is, because what happened was the bases are the biggest problem of trying to get the paint on. So I repainted them, and then I rebased them. Sorry, almost reprimed them. So no, I don't think there is a video. Sorry. With the bases, but I will do it on this one. Cool, right, we've just got his horns to do now. So, yeah, traditional type of horns. So we're going to start with the skeleton horde. And I'm going to go in with some Nuln Oil, which is not a contrast paint. So grab some skeleton horde, which is really good for any bone or I think horn as well. Apply that relatively liberally. There he is. Once we do the metal work, it's really going to stand out. Then I'm going to actually get the Blood Angel's red and do the massive tassel on his sword. Well, one thing's for sure, it's definitely a lot more stable at 720. I just really hope that the quality isn't that bad, and you can really see what's going on. Depends on how people consume the video, right? If you're putting it on a TV, it might look pretty terrible. But if you're watching it on an iPhone or an iPad or tablet, well, it doesn't have to be Apple, does it? On a tablet or a phone, then I guess it's fine. There he is. Starting to come along now. Right, those. Well, I guess we best stick with the same rope colour, which is just in with the white around his ankles and his feet. Yeah, I don't need to really do any touch up on them either, which is ideal. So let's do that next. So we're going in with the rope. So back to Apothecary White. Oops. We need to touch up the feet a little bit. Get a smaller brush. Oops. Try not to smack the camera. That tassely bit. I think that's just part of the. Yeah. Okay. I'm not happy with that. I think this was the hair, wasn't it? So it's the blue, wasn't it? So I'm going to go back in with that blue. Wherever that is. Well, not blue. Oh, Leviathan blue. Just sort out that trouser. And then with the contrast medium. Tiny bit of this now. Just make sure I've got. You've got to be careful about going over areas that you've already done with contrasts, because they'll give a kind of marker effect, marker pen effect, where it will just give just the dark area where you've just gone over. But yeah, that's fine. Ooh, maybe. There we go. Just a bit there as well. Awesome. Right. So I think that is everything up to the point where we need to do the metal work, which is a fair amount on the old Oni. Not a lot to do on Nuna. On Oni, is she called? Ori. Yeah, we've certainly got a bit of touching up to do, perhaps, on some parts of them. But most of it, it's just once we get that metal work on, it'll really finish the models and it'll make them really stand out. And we do have to do the bases, so that's going to be done as well. But you can see just by placing them there how next to just a white Infamy of Crete, we've really got it coming out, and it's coming out really nice. So that's the hope, that we get a better quality coming out. So I'm going to be doing a second live stream, hopefully not in 3 parts, where I'll finish off these guys. And then I think what I want to do is start this chap, if I'm not doing the Infamy of Crete. So Bronte, I'm really looking forward to. But the problem is, I think this guy's going to have the same problems where it's not going to stick. So I think I need some work to get done on repainting or repriming these miniatures. You can kind of see, to be fair, the stone pillars have come out all right. Yeah, stone pillars have come out all right, actually. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so that's the first live stream painting for Black Rose Wars. There'll be more, definitely much more to come. I'm looking forward to painting up some more of this fantastic game, the miniatures, and playing some more solo as well with the choosing any schools of magic you want mechanic. I do need to find a really cool combo, but I just want to try all the different schools out first and then see how they run, as well as playing some different games on the channel. I'll only be doing videos now of Black Rose Wars, I believe. I'm not going to be doing so for example, these guys here which I've been painting, these are from Lord of the Rings strategy battle game. I'm kind of getting these painted up as rangers, and then I've got a bunch of ring wraiths to paint to be able to do the kind of scenarios of Lord of the Rings as well. So that's in the pipe work at some point, but I really want to focus on Black Rose Wars right now. So hopefully in the next few days, I'll do the next live stream. I'll post it on Facebook, but if you like, subscribe on the chat on this video, then you'll be notified when the next one will be live, and then we'll move it on from there. Okay, so if you've joined live, thanks for joining me. If not, you're watching this recorded, then comment below, how are your Black Rose War figures coming along? Are you using contrast paints? What are your favourite figures? Are you getting this repelling of paint on your miniatures, and how did you deal with that? It'd be quite nice to hear from you. So until next time, keep painting.